defending, I think, is like.
Am I live? Of course I'm live. People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. Please hit the like button on your arrival if you haven't. As you know, unexpected high bills due. Again, if you're like myself over here in the United Kingdom, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where else you guys are placed. It's Friday. I hope you've all had a progressive week in terms of your goals, hopes, dreams, ambitions, and aspirations. Also, if you're overcoming any hardship or obstacles, you can't do any of that without health. So I wish everybody and their loved ones listening continued good health or better health. You ain't got health, you're dead. Simple as that. And obviously, I hope everyone stays safe. On the best of days, I always say it, especially with what in the last 18 months we've, in terms of certain diseases we've gone through, and obviously in light of what you're seeing globally. So I hope everyone's well and safe. Please don't take things for granted. Now, where Arsenal are concerned, this obviously a better Friday. It's an elite Friday because Arsenal can't ruin my weekend because they're playing. There's no Saturday or Sunday game. Fantastic turnaround against Wolves. One love to everyone that was on my Twitch stream where, from a tactical point of view, we went over the game. But in short, I'm happy in it. I can't moan. Did we play well to our high standards? Was it a clean performance? No. Sometimes you need that resilience. You need the fight. You need to just win when you ain't played well. And we've done that. Better late than never. I think that's the first time we've come back from behind against MIKEL ARTETA, where that probably shows that our squad, we need to do that a bit more often. Unfortunately, Gabriel's mistake, we are an error-prone side because these players are still learning. We've made 5 mistakes leading to goals. That's only betted by Everton, and it's one more than Newcastle. Respectfully to both sides, they're not having the best of seasons. They're both fighting relegation. If you're near them for anything, there's issues. We're an improved defensive side. We understand the aspects a bit more. We defend a bit better from our first defender with Lacazette. We're a bit more resilient and stuff, but I wouldn't say we're necessary. And our statistics in the league speak for themselves, but I wouldn't say, not comparing us to anyone, I wouldn't have us Arsenal down as a defensive side. We've improved that aspect. We're learning it, but we make too many of these errors and these brain farts to be a good defensive side, in my opinion, in comparison to what we've seen. There's building blocks, we're learning, and Gabriel, fortunately, it isn't a thing, but Gabriel's made some mistakes. Ben White, Ramsdale, even Tomiyasu, Tierney, our midfielders, these guys have these mistakes in them. So it's lovely that, we forgave everyone. I'm happy that Gabriel reacted very well to his mistake. I'm happy the team reacted well. There's been numerous times over the years where we might have just lost that 1-0 because players would have looked at it. Gabriel's going to get the blame. It is what it is. I saw fight. I saw desire. I saw all of that stuff. If we're real with ourselves, still the same issues. Can't really create, second half was good, but from the start, apart from really starting well when we should have had a penalty early on, we didn't cut them open, really. We didn't work. So I know we had 26 or something shots. You look at the amount that are on target, that tells you the full tale of things. And anytime Sarr is up, sorry for the builders are doing work. Anytime Sarr, I think Sarr's a good keeper, but I think he's overrated. Anytime he's asked any questions, he's never afraid to come off that line, and it looks suspect, like seen with Lacazette / his own goal. I still think we have problems in terms of our build-up play. Xhaka was further forward than he was yesterday. Partey looked a bit more natural in the 6. Odegaard, Lacazette, half our players are still coming far too short. Our build-up play is still regiment and still quite slow and predictable. I do think we weren't doing the basics well in the first half, like 5-yard passes, looking after the ball, tracking runners, looking after the space. We weren't doing any of that, and we deserved to go a goal down, but it was poetic justice. These lot were wasting time from the 20th minute. I'm not going to begrudge a team for wasting time because we do that, but they started it way too early. They tried to do the dark arts towards the end, and that resulted in them 6 minutes being added on. And we did well. Martin Odegaard, it's another game where he runs the show. And I think if you watch him, there's a current theme. In the second half, lovely a chance created for Lacazette, involved in the 2 goals. He's better when he's next to their goal, not when he's dropping on the halfway line and things like that. We need our attacking players to stay further forward. Pepe, impressive cameo off the bench with his goal and assist. Eddie finally actually done something off the bench as well. So, Lacazette, you was poor all game. And for me, when we looked at the Aubameyang thing, we said, all right, cool. If Aubameyang's scoring goals, he plays, because for all the frustrations, goals win games. If you and Aubameyang are not scoring, then you're the better player, because the link-up play, all of these things that you might give us, even though you missed a barrage of chances again, as you've been doing all season. I did feel, up until we turned it around, I did feel Lacazette didn't have that same, general play and all of that, I think he was actually harming the team. So at a point, I was screaming, you know what, Martinelli, go through the middle, maybe move Saka to the left earlier than what happened and bring on Pepe. But the gaffer kept on Lacazette. He kept faith. His subs came on and made the difference. I know Tavares was a bit crazy. We weren't at our best. I think there's very few players that would say they was amazing. But importantly, we dug deep. We, and snatched 3 points from the jaws of defeat. I would say we need to, try and get back to playing to high standards, because against Brentford, we started well and was well for the majority. Our foot came off the gas, resulting in that silly goal we conceded. We started somewhat well in this game. Then we started going into old habits and we conceded a stupid goal, which was coming really. So again, and we had a great finish to the game, but we need to play well properly, really. If I'm honest with you. So it is what it is. And again, we go to Watford away. That's going to be difficult, but we need to get 3 points, because the next 3 games or so in particular are not going to be easy. But fight, heart, desire, willingness. I saw that it wasn't pretty. I see dark arts from Ben White in particular. It was a good game. I feel in hindsight, Brett, Wolves sat back far too long and they didn't know what they were going to do if they were to take the lead against us. But it is what it is, people. So I'm a happy lad. What can I say? I'm happy as Larry, really and truly, man. We did what we needed to do. I can't complain. Sorry, folks. YouTube's asking me something. Crazy one, man. So yeah, what can I say? We obviously covered the game from a tactical point of view yesterday. Well, earlier today, man said yesterday at 10 a.m. So I'm not going to go over the same thing, but we know systemically we don't really score enough. We don't really work the keeper. Our chances kind of come from the same players. We struggle with a lack of movement. Our build-up play is quite slow and predictable. These are things that we don't take our chances. These are things that are not going to improve, in my opinion, from now to the end of the season, in the sense of, for us to do a bit more in midfield, we need a better number 8. Xhaka was further forward yesterday and did quite well in the second half, part of the same, but our midfield wasn't really giving us much. If the centre mids are not on it, then Odegaard's dropping deep onto the right. Saka, the ball into Saka. We were just playing balls into the channel, realistically. We need more in the middle. Ben White had to keep playing that pass to Cedric because nothing else was on, and our centre-backs have to keep forcing it. We keep trying to go down the wide areas, which isn't bad, but we're kind of harming ourselves, and it's kind of the same things we're saying game in, game out, really and truly. So it is what it is. I'm happy to do the double over them. I just want to know, Ruben Neves, can we celebrate? Can we celebrate? Is it all right? You seemed a bit humble in what was going on, man. So it was a fantastic result. But what Arsenal fans need to not do is, if we lost, people would have just focused on the negatives. As we have won, everybody don't want to focus on anything that might have been negative, where the truth's in the middle. The positives are we got the 3 points. We came back from behind for the first time under Arteta. We keep our top 4 hopes alive. We've got 3 big points in relation to what happened with Spurs' game and other games to come. But in terms of what we know, as much as other teams might be better than us or worse than us, we're in control of our own destiny. We can be our best friend or our worst enemies. And it all comes down to how you start, how you finish games. Now, it was an off day, but I just feel, in that game, we weren't winning our 50-50s. We weren't winning our individual battles. We were disjointed. We didn't play to the way we did. That happens game to game. But we fought and whatnot, man. And it was obviously lovely to get the win. I saw a bit more heart. I've seen my team lie down before in situations like that when it gets tough, And I feel we stood up to be counted. Odegaard's a boss as well. So, yeah, man, we go marching on, really. Wolves had chances to kill the game. Big up Eddie and Ketty 100%, Wolves had chances to kill the game. They had little half chances, man. You know what? Chang, who obviously took advantage of Gabriel's mistake, went close. I think Gabriel also made an important block, and technically Ramsdale made a save, So they were half in it. But in terms of being clinical, sustained pressure, dominating, we need to do a lot more. One thing I think we did well from start to finish was the way we was pressing, because I feel whenever they went into their defenders, we was pressing their defenders well. They're giving the ball back to us. But I also feel even when the goalie saw us kicking it, and more so in the second half when they're trying to waste time, I think we did well. I can't lie. I think we kept Prudence quiet. And let's not lie, Neves is good enough to play for Arsenal Football Club. Neves after the game talked about how poor his team was after scoring. Looks like man got humbled. Don't worry, we'll teach Neves how to celebrate when he joins us. Fair play to Nketiah. He did well in his little cameo. Yes, bro. Hope you're good. I'm still buzzing, man. Unbelievable result. You're not alone. We spoke about that on Twitch. Aubameyang got a brace. Laka didn't have much chance versus their 3 centre-backs. It's true, but at the same time, Laka had plenty of chances. I can't lie, man. I can't lie. Laka had an awesome 80 minutes. Ooh, 80 minutes. So there was only 10 minutes where Laka was in that. I can't lie. I think Laka was poor. He did well in the last half an hour, really well. But yeah, man, I wouldn't say he played well for 80. You know, Lacazette, of course, against 3 centre-backs. But, I mean, he had chances. And for me, as I said, what you might be able to concede with Lacazette, generally, up until he turned it around, you know he's going to miss chances and all of these sort of things. But the link-up play, the prestige, I think he was quite poor in the final third. Second half, when Pepe and Odegaard and these men came on, he upped it with everyone. But the sort of thing you come to expect with Laka is gone, really. And again, if Laka's not offering that to go with goals, a bit like with Aubameyang, why are you on the pitch? You might as well start Project Martinelli up there. Does Pepe get a start next game for you? Did look impressive? I would say no. I can't really say no because I don't really want to drop Lacazette for one game. I feel he could have scored against Brentford, but I think he was good. I think that was the first, off the top of my head, really poor Lacazette game for me up until we turned it around in a while. I still think he balances our squad. I still think sometimes him dropping deep, as I said earlier, along with everyone, harms us. But I think him dropping deep allows Saka and Martinelli and Smith Rowe and Odegaard to do their thing. I think there's a balance there. I think Lacazette just had an off day. But it is a good question. And, you know, Pepe, for the last 2 seasons in the second half of the year, has been our best player. So hopefully there's something to be said in that regards and he can save Arteta's bacon and help us get towards the Champions League qualification places. Pepe, we're gassing it, but it looked all right against Brentford yesterday. Goal and assist. What can you say, man? Pepe looked good. I don't know if Pepe is going to have to do the super sub thing. I don't know if Pepe is going to apply this from the start, but Arteta did say there's a new Pepe, and that's what you want to see, man. Competition for places. Pepe probably wouldn't start against Watford for me. I would probably lean towards still Lacazette, Martin Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli / Smith Rowe on that left-hand side. And obviously, I'm happy that we got the 3 points because, listen, I'm Tomiyasu's biggest fan. I was distraught that he weren't playing. Shout out to Cedric. And obviously, Smith Rowe was missing. And I'm sure I speak for everyone where it did feel like we could score against Wolves. But as the game went on, you're thinking, who is going to bag? And you're looking at it, you're like, where is our top goal scorer? So we got the job done. As you know, football's a squad game. People are going to get injured. But for me, I wouldn't start Pepe just yet. Last chance saloon for Lacazette. Even though when I done my stream with Mo, I said that I would say last chance saloon against Watford. If Lacazette don't really put in a shift there, then I might experiment with, I would say I'm not really with the Pepe false 9 thing. Martinelli go up front. I'd probably move Pepe on the left, keep Saka on the right, really, just because for me, I think both can play across both. I just think Pepe looks a bit better. He looks wavy off the right, so I don't really like saying this, but I just feel if that's the case, if Pepe has to start, I just feel he looks a bit better on the left. It's less complicated. You know, you either go down the wing or and get a crossing, or you cut inside and bang it or play a pass. I think right wing, sometimes Pepe can get too muddled up. There's too many things. And I just feel with Tierney, you know he's going to overlap consistently. You don't quite know that with Tomiyasu and Cedric. Sometimes they're the underlap. And I think Pepe needs that consistent runner. And obviously, Xhaka peels off to the left-hand side. Yesterday, Xhaka was peeling off to the left, making forward runs in behind and whatnot. So it is what it is. But I wouldn't say Pepe yet. I feel if anyone's going to get, I still think for me, it's a fight between Martinelli and Smith Rowe. If anything, I'd say Pepe on the bench. Any messing about in the next game, then maybe a change. But I can't disagree with anyone that says, you know, Lacazette needs to hold bench and things like that. I enjoyed the eye candy. Need to whip off the shirt more often times. I appreciate that. I just watched back the Lacazette winner. Man removed his shirt. I was excited, man. I apologize. I was excited, man. You can't blame me, man. I was excited. You know, that yesterday was a roller coaster of emotions, literally a roller coaster of emotions. You know, we conceded a cheap goal. As the one thing for me, and I was saying it then as well, we needed to calm down. When we conceded, it's like we just needed to calm down. Like we needed to, and I think we was too, for me anyways, initially, half-time there clearly was a good team talk. I think we was too excited. We was too, oh shit, we'll go down. Let's get back in it. I think we needed to just get back to basics. And I don't feel we did that for large parts. I feel unusually a number of players were sloppy, but we dug deep and did what we needed to do, man. You know, told man about Pepe. Pepe is the flavor of the month right now, really. Just like certain man told us about Laka, man. DG is finding his lost shirt. Let's give him time, people. Hey, it's in the wash, man. I sweated the hell out of that Arsenal shirt, really and truly. And I'm not sweating as much now, but that fan, bro, what level is this fan on, bro? Level 1. No wonder I'm cooking. But then again, man, when you got this lovely brown skin like me and a lovely touch, bro, I'm cooking slow cook, coming like curry goat, man. Is what it is. Yeah, them curry goat and that. But anyways, yeah, man. I had about 3 hours sleep, but it is what it is. Broski, drink some coffee. Arsenal won. Sleep's irrelevant, man. Sleep's irrelevant. Do you know how easy it is for me to watch? Hit the like button, people. Can we get to 100 likes? There's no better pleasure for me than watching Arsenal twice, because obviously I watched the game twice when we've actually won. Do you know how? Well, I'm not gonna lie. The last time I was vexed was actually the Liverpool game. You know, I was vexed watching that again. Like, so wavy for that. Literally, I'm watching the first 20 and it's gone to minute 21. I'm like, if I remember rightly, the next goal comes. So yeah, for me, the goal we conceded was also disappointing because obviously, Gabriel, you need to stop doing naive things like that. You know, it's a blind pass. Ramsdale's positioning might be off, but it starts and stops with the pass. I feel as a team we're caught on the break because I believe Odegaard, I can't remember, but they've got a foul. Long story short, we've conceded a foul near the halfway line and they just pumped it to Gabriel. Gabriel's done well initially to stop the threat of Jimenez, and then is it Chang's made a run? Ben White, Partey not followed it. It might not be their job, but follow the run. This is the sequences of play we need to get better at. Gabriel will learn. This is the thing. People can't waffle about having young players. And on one hand, there's no excuses because you've played enough games to learn. But people can't waffle about young players and then be surprised when they do things like that. You know, obviously, it's not really that deep because we won. But if that costs his man 3 points, people are looking at it very differently. You know, it's the same with Lokonga. When Lokonga's, you can't say he can be this bad boy in midfield and then be surprised as a man's learning, he's losing the ball. You can't be an Olympic swimmer if you, at some point you're not struggling to swim. You've got to start somewhere. You know, Ben White's another one who's got away with it. You know, against Spurs and Burnley, nothing happened, but he's given away silly penalties. He's given away a silly penalty either against Leeds or Norwich. Odegaard gave away a silly one. Tavares has done silly shit. It's not even just them, the more experienced players. We've got these bozo genes in our game. Now, the young players, they're still learning and things. And as things go on, they need to get out of their game. But these are the things. You can't have an average age of 24 talk about their potential and then be surprised when young defenders do crazy things, or young strikers, not that we're playing any, and missing one-on-ones and things like Martinelli really versus City. They're still learning. Like I said, that's no excuse because I do feel there's a lot of fans hide behind the fact that we're young and don't apply it where needed, you know, because although we're young, man, are experienced enough to know what they're doing. You know, Gabriel's been here for 2 years or so, and he's still got that in his game. It's like you lot waffling about Saliba. Saliba's got that in his game. I know I haven't brought out the loan reports, and I always say it, but I promise I'm going to get back with it. He had a good game against Mets, but there's an incident. Gabriel Saliba has this in his game. He had a tough time against Nice, but there was an incident. It's 1v1, like it's Saliba and a center and a striker. Saliba's got there now against Mets, and he's tried to cushion it back to his goalie in it, but it's ballooned up. Now Saliba's strength and pace has got him out of that, but that might be a time where it doesn't. These are the young mistakes defenders and players make. Really, you can't be surprised when people do silly things. Really. And they're going to cost you points. Now, fortunately, it hasn't cost us points, but it will cost you points. This is the balance you've got to find. But I like, man, the builders are doing a lot, bro. They're doing a lot. They fixed my window. They're doing the others, people. So I apologize for that. If you deep it, Gabriel redeemed himself. That's one thing I like, bro. You make a mistake, it is what it is. Don't feel sorry for yourself. It's happened. That's one thing I liked. As soon as he made it, you saw Ramsdale, Ben White, all them man, they say, Gab, pattern in it. Because although you made the mistake, you've also bailed us out a couple of times. And I like the fact that Gabriel, you know, it is what it is. Mistakes happen. It's football. You're not saving. You can afford to make a mistake in football. As much as football means the world to me, I'm here waffling day in, day out with you guys. And you lot are no different, bro. Man, I'm not fighting wars. Guys are not doing heart surgery where you can't really make a mistake. You made a mistake on a football pitch. You hold your L. What's the worst? You look at your analytics or YouTube and there's mistakes, or match of the day highlight it. You go again. I like the fact that he said, you know what? Cool. We made a mistake. Let's go again. It is what it is. And he made some important blocks. Now, had we have lost or whatever, maybe fans wouldn't be so forgiving. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of more forgiving because it's Gabriel. Certain other man did that. I might be like, yo, what's going on there? But it's about learning, because I say it with Lokonga and Tavares. These mistakes are coming. And for me, it's, you see Ben White and Gabriel, they do little things like this and it goes unpunished. So for me, when I'm seeing it and it's punished, I can't be surprised, people, really and truly. That expected conceded stat that Wolves love to pull out for Sarr literally equates how many goals Wolves have conceded as a team, which is literally a team stat. Hey, Sarr's a good keeper. I just feel man gas it a lot. And it's not that I think he's bad. It's just, bro, he likes to punch a lot. Anytime we was putting it into the box, he was looking shaky. And that's why I feel, for me in general, we need to work teams a bit better. We had a lot of shots, but when you contextualize the shots, how many works are, how many hit the target really in the first half and second half in general? Because I would say the last 20 minutes, for second half, it was really good. But in my opinion, the people stood up to be counted. They fixed up. But I would say the last 20 minutes is when I felt, all right, cool. We must at least get a draw here. There's something for us. I'm not going to lie, as the game went on and we're not scoring and whatever, you start to think it's not your day. I like I said, the one thing I liked was the pressing, because I think we forced them to lose the ball with their centre halves and their keeper a lot of the game. And I think one thing that helped us is, I can't lie, Wolves were on a pussy thing. I can't lie. They were just sitting back way too much. They got their goal. I don't know why they thought they were just going to run away with it against us. But if they presented more problems like they did in the Molineux, then there might have been more. You know, I didn't think Semedo troubled us too much. They got forward and stuff. I say Chang looked like the only brother that I was like, whoa. When Neto came on as well, there was a heart-in-mouth moment. Again, we was probably too open on the transition. We weren't looking over our shoulders as much. We weren't winning our first and seconds. I still think we struggle against back threes. That's why I was scared in the game, because there were similarities in the Brighton away game for me early on. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Raul's chance in the first half was the best one. Crazy. Bro, there was a couple of chances Wolves had where everyone that was watching the watch along with me, and you can see it because on YouTube, I'm literally like 2-1 Wolves or 2-0 Wolves. I couldn't believe these things went in, but we caught life in it, man. It felt like we struggled to thread the balls to the inside channels. We get most of our luck playing down the wings, much like Pep gets to the goal and cuts back, could get predictable. It is predictable because at one point, the only change we was getting was Saka down the right-hand side. Laka played poor, but we won the game because of him. We won the game, I wouldn't say necessarily because of Laka. You know, people could say we won the game because of Pepe. We won the game because of Eddie. We won the game because of Odegaard. We won the game because of the collective, you know. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I was saying, yo, Laka needs to come off. And I'm sure a lot of you were. Laka needs to come off. We're all screaming, get Pepe on. You know, there's no one else on the bench, but I wasn't necessarily screaming Eddie and Nketiah. I was screaming Tavares before that. The changes made the difference. The players made the difference. There is a lot more hunger in these players. I'm not going to lie, man. Why are you always negative about Lacazette? You're not listening, man. You can literally find videos, you know. If being honest, you know, Lacazette works hard, he presses well, but he misses chances. I'm not going to be negative, ridiculously, or positive. If you want to hear Lacazette fanboys, you need to ask his mother. Allow it, Jack, man. Please don't listen with rose tints. You know, the same guy who was saying I wouldn't drop Lacazette, or why Lacazette needs to start going into this game because of the balance. Please don't listen. By all means, Chris, critique me, but listen to what the hell I've said. To be fair, it's Hang Lee Chan, as you can see here, Sandro. And I don't know, like, if that's the one he wants to go with pronouncing, but literally, like, it's that's his name, isn't it? Either way, good player, man. Absolute problematic Donny for us. But yeah, it is what it is. Odegaard defo is one of the captains without a doubt. There's a lot of captains there, man. I like Odegaard. I more want Odegaard. You can wear the captaincy. You can be a leader. I think Arteta is the one that picks you. Personally, I would like a more conventional captain, which probably leans towards Ramsdale and obviously Tierney a bit more. But again, the one thing with Tierney is his injuries. You could say Odegaard is ever present and is probably the most important player within our system, if I'm completely honest with you. As much as I want that to be the ALM players, I genuinely think Odegaard is our most important player. And I don't want to say he excites me the most because we've got a lot of exciting players, but I'm most excited of what Odegaard can do for the collective team, if that makes sense. Pepe is our most dangerous player. I've been saying it. Ooh, I think Smith Rowe is personally. I think Pepe is our most unpredictable player. Good opinions, man. Good opinions. Good opinions. Neves, after the game, talked about how poor his team was after scoring. I already saw that comment. Apologies. I'm seeing Laka man of the match. To be fair, bro, he dug in deep and the passion merchant and that man of the match. I'd say Odegaard for me personally, but you know what? You could say Pepe for being a game changer. Obviously, we're trailing. His managers told him to come off the bench and affect the game. You're a winger. You need to score and assist. I think Odegaard could be there. I feel watching the game again, Ben White was pretty good still, apart from maybe could have done better for the goal in comparison to obviously Gabriel and Ramsdale. But yeah, man, I think it's a good team collective, man. I can see why Laka could be giving it. I like the way we did it, you know. In the second half, we didn't panic. It's like we knew it was coming. And as I said, Wolves showed immaturity. Like they were time wasting too early, which harmed them. They needed Arsenal caused the most problems when you're trying to get at us and attack us. I don't know why they respected us, but I don't care. And I feel when we conceded, we was too anxious. We was forcing it. I feel in the second half, we was a bit more patient. And obviously the nerves are starting to kick in and that, but we looked a bit more patient. It looked like we knew it would come. I said Bergerac and Kolasinac. If Xhaka made that Gabriel mistake, would have been World War III, of course. Why is Saliba under the microscope yet Ben gets a free pass? Shanks and Saliba's irrelevant to this, but I wouldn't say that. Oh, okay, cool. I hear you. But it shouldn't be putting players against each other, man. Because Xhaka always makes mistakes and we're long sick of it. Right is right and wrong is wrong, but I could understand that. Odegaard played like Santi. Ooh, I wouldn't say that, Max. I wouldn't say that, but don't want to get ahead of myself, but we might have found our Santi replacement. I would say let's get an 8 as Odegaard gets older and we stop relying on the same individuals and we can do it more as a collective. Then I'm all for Odegaard needs to move to that 8 role and be our David Silva, our latter stage Man City David Silva. I do think he could give that. I do think Odegaard can sacrifice himself for the collective of the team and give us a lot, man. I do think Odegaard can be the linchpin and the creative stroke in which could make Saka, Smith Rowe, all these guys do a lot more. I'm so keen to see. Bob Odegaard's scary, you know. 23, 24 is scary. Because he ain't even, his football IQ is very intelligent. His passing range is amazing and immaculate. But he's not all the way there yet. There's a lot of things he needs to learn and it scares me. And I know a lot of people talk about Arteta and things. Arteta wanted him. Arteta begged for him to come to the club. We played a very dangerous game. If he didn't come, we'd have been in problems. But we signed him. And I think he knows exactly why. Like, I do think there's a lot more to come from him. Laka wasn't poor. He just can't score goals. I mean, better in the second half, but the first half, he couldn't hang on to the ball. He's playing under hit passes. He's shooting when he needs to pass. He's passing when he should shoot. I'm not going to sit here and lie. First 45 minutes, Lacazette didn't, like I said, what he gives you as opposed of not scoring, he normally gives you in terms of link-up play. It weren't quite there. Second half, he turned it around, but it's a 5, 6 out of 10, really. Laka was poor and was good. I can't, just because we've turned over the narrative, I can't get away from that, you know. It's another game where Laka's been a bit political. Had we have not have turned it around, had we not have done something against Brentford, we can only deal with facts. We got away with it. People be looking at it differently. And that's the thing. When we win, everyone wants to brush things under the carpet. When we lose, everyone wants to be negative. Why can't we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, which was shown over that roller coaster of emotions? You can't say the game was a roller coaster of emotions and pretend Arsenal was elite for 90 minutes. It doesn't work like that. Fair enough, though, man. If that's good, I don't think you lot rate Laka because Laka's done a lot better, man. Who's our best player? I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. Ben White was a solid best defender that game. United has some tough games coming up. City, Pool, and Spurs game back. Do we dare to dream? DG, love that intro, by the way. Bro, we can dream. We can dream. We're in a fight. You know, we're bordering on March and Arsenal in the top 4 fight, but it's in our hands. You know, in the same way that game was in our hands and we dug deep, it is in our hands. There's 14 games, 14 very different narratives. We're not always going to win every week. So it's down to us. It's in our hands. We've still got difficult games. We've got to play Liverpool. We've got to play Spurs. We've got to go Stamford Bridge. We've got to play Southampton, Brighton, Palace, bogey teams. We've got to play Newcastle at St. James's as they're fighting relegation. We've got Watford as well next week. This is the beautiful thing of the Prem, but boy, you know, as much as I think we can do it, you know, we still need to overcome low blocks. We weren't able to do it against Burnley. We got over it this week. You know, we need to, and I think across the last 2 games, we can actually play a lot better. We need to chase being a bit more perfect for 90 minutes, which was there. We was a bit more better over 90 minutes prior to the turn of the year. We need to kind of get back there. Pepe needs a run of games. He tries every time he has come on recently. 2 games he's come on. That's good. But I mean, if giving Pepe a run of games makes us stronger, fair enough. But I just care about the collective. Respectfully, I don't really care about who feels they're not getting enough games and whatnot. As long as whatever's the best team to go out there and get the 3 points, the collective first. Can't lie, everyone was cussing Pepe, told them he's our best player. Now he scores a goal, the fake fans jumping on the wave. I don't know about our best player, but that's the thing with Arsenal. People live or die, man. People live or die by opinions and narratives. One week he's an amazing Don, the next week he's shit. It's crazy, man. What? I said he can be our Santi long term. We need a number 8, bro. No one can tell me Martin Odegaard can't play in the number 8 long term. That was the first time since 2018 Wolves lost after taking the lead. That's the first time under MIKEL ARTETA we've come back from behind. You see the difference with Gab's mistake and Xhaka is the consistency of the mistakes. When you are constantly costing us, excuses start to run out. The play before both goals was also impressive. That intricate play before the second was amazing. Trust. I see the comparison, but creating from deep, you can't really do it like I've seen. That's why I said Odegaard's got a lot more to come. Do I have a cap to you lot? In 18 months, 2 years, I'm gonna sit here and say I told you so. Just like I told you about Saka playing right wing. Just like I mentioned about Martinelli. And just like half of these other things. Just like I told you Odegaard would come good. I don't know everything, but I know good footballers. When Odegaard's running the show from number 8 and you see a lot more of, he would probably have to sacrifice his individual. He might not get enough goals and assists, but the collective. Cool. 18 months, 2 years. Screenshot this. In the long run, Laka's total inability to score goals will cost us. Right now, we got over it. You know, Gabriel did the job against Wolves. You know, Pepe and... Gabriel did the job, but whoever we play against Brentford, it was against Wolves. We got the job done against Brentford, and it happens now, but sometimes we may need to do ones, man. I don't understand why Laka has haters. I could understand fair criticism, but yeah, man. Of course, I'm not saying don't buy an 8. I just feel he could be an option there. DG, do you think we should sign Laka on a 2-year contract and a sole striker? I wouldn't say 2-year deal. I think leaving that, man. Watching you lose your ish last night and giving it to Wolves when Laka scored was pure gold. I've always seen you in videos being calm and composed. Keep up the good work. Hey, man, I love my club, really. I was vexed yesterday because we're playing poor. Like, we're not playing to high standards. And that's what jars me. We can't account for how good Wolves or bad Wolves might be, but we need to account for ourselves. So when I'm seeing people not passing with the same intensity, winning, losing their individual battles, being destroyed, nobody taking control. This is the problems I get because we didn't look like we was on a football game for large parts. I look forward to the day we are elite for most 90-minute games, bro. I think it can be changed with a number 8, man. Lacazette, new 2-year deal. I mean, it's all about what you see him being in 2 years. I mean, what safety net, though? Because the bar's on the floor. Lacazette's there to work hard, link up, playing things. If goals or if a striker doesn't have to immediately get goals in this team, then surely you should be able to find that. I'm not against Laka getting a new deal, but yeah, man. We have to change the system. You'd probably get more out of Laka if you allow him to patrol the attacking areas and get snapshots off. He's knackered from being everywhere. I agree and disagree. Laka wants to drop deep, and when he is in the box, he's barely a threat. I mean, yeah, man, I think we've got to kind of move away from that. Cedric looking like he has a say in that right back position. Now, I big up Cedric. He's making it complicated, but respectfully, the minute Tomiyasu is fresh home, you know what needs to be done. We know Odegaard's not 2-footed. I've always known Pepe is an important player. Weird flex. We know Pepe. We know Odegaard's not 2-footed. Do you start Pepe versus Watford? Probably not. I can't lie. I genuinely think we can do a thing against Chelsea in their current form, but Liverpool's a sick. Listen, let's see what's going on, man. I wouldn't mind Lacazette 1-year deal too, but 1 year with an option of another being on the bench and things like that. But we probably need to move on from that, really. Can you buy a marquee striker and can you scout someone that can grow and that can be called upon when you need it? You really thought we were poor, especially second half. I thought we dominated. Mike, you're not listening. I think we started the game poor. I keep saying we had a second half that was very well. Respectfully, please please, people, if we're gonna talk, listen to what I say. Please don't just have a confirmation bias where you hear little bits and pieces. El Nouri had a good game, and I can't remember the shot, but he set someone up. He a good little run down the right hand side. He set someone up. The only time he started playing shit is when he started acting like he's been shot. We need to move on from Laka. He's tired. We haven't signed a striker in 4 years. And the thing is, boy, and if Laka's going to be a squad player, fair enough. But if you're going to make him a key player, you're going to do the same thing with Aubameyang. We only want to eliminate problems or look for strikers and things when they're evident. I'm not being funny, but if goals are not necessarily the problem, then the net there should be even more targets. If the benefit is just working hard and linking up play, there's plenty of strikers that can do that. Bro, please just listen. Like, by all means, criticize what I say, but don't tell me I've said something that I haven't. That's one of my biggest pet peeves in life. It is what it is, man. Big up DG Jar, and we keep playing every 2 weeks. Hey, this might be the thing, man. This might win, lose, or draw, but our hearts can't take this. Boy, you're gonna get this. I know some of you are writing down the Lacazette missed chances, this and that. Why is Xhaka running in behind the midfield? Gabriel, how could you do that? All changed, man. It depends, man, but it all depends. What is Laka going to be like a year from now? I can't answer that. I'm not against it, but I don't think Laka should be the starting striker, man, next season. Would you rather keep Laka already? For the peace thing, Eddie, you could sign him up, loan him out. If he becomes 30 to some degree, you can make some peas off him. If it was what I feel like for a season, then I'd rather give Laka a 1 year deal. It is what it is, man. You think we could beat United or Chelsea? I don't know until we see. I think we got more of a chance against United, but saying that, I don't know. We seem to be on it against Chelsea. Would you play Martinelli up front? Yeah, I probably would not drop Lacazette for the Watford game yet for that. But yeah, man, I think left wing settings. Don't forget at 4:30 we're playing FM, people. And don't forget it's EFL Cup final as well on Sunday. I'll be doing a watch along for that. That will be on YouTube. So make sure you lot are there for that one. Pardon me, Lacazette's control of the ball for the 6 half chances vexed me. That was the first game in a while. I'll be real. In the first half, Lacazette, the passes, none of that wasn't really there that Lacazette gives you. He just had a bad game. But then again, that's my guy. It looked like he was crying. And I mean, I'm not being funny, but they could have credited him with the goal. I've definitely seen, more favorable own goal shouts being given to the strikers. What happened to strikers finish, man? It was lovely, man. The thing is, but again, we start to play, but in the first half, we was doing that. Laka, Odegaard, Xhaka, Martinelli, it was very disjointed, like the whole team. You don't need to, it's not you, but people need to watch the 90-minute games and not just the flashpoints, really, and see what we're doing across it. They'll have to see, man. You actually heard in relation to Lacazette, contract talks have been put on hold prior to the game, really. So we'll have to see. Obviously, if there's favourable terms, why not? I would love to see Fabian Ruiz at the carpet, man. Why not? Really, they've said MIKEL Arteta doesn't like majestic players because he rubbed out Mesut Ozil. Boy, what do they know, eh? What do they know? I see João Felix chance. We would love that. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Don't forget journey to 50k on YouTube and 10k on Twitch is still alive and kicking. The big stuff is Arsenal and Football Manager, mate. I don't know if I'm gonna do the thingy, if I'm going to do the Arsenal save or the Charlton one. I don't know if I want to ruin my day with my Charlton save, man. Getting out of relegation is proving tough. If we actually had a striker, there'd be more wins and less drama. I don't know about that because, if we had a striker, we might be able to scumbag a bit more wins, but I don't know about that because the striker can't always be at it. Personally, don't think it was an own goal. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going on target. It does look like Sar's put it in the back of his own net. To be fair, I don't care if it's really an own goal or Lacazette scored. All these guys' personal stuff comes second. All I care about is the 3 points. I don't care who scores, how we score. Just get the 3 points. Just keep the European dream alive. That matters. Everything else, people trying to get personal accolades, golden boots, score goals, turn their form around. All of that is down for them. That's for the birds, in it. Let them do that if they want to do that. I just want the win first. Everything else can come second, and I'm a happy boy when I see what's happened in that, innit? Really and truly. Can't complain with anything. So it is what it is, man. different role from Granit Xhaka yesterday. I wasn't really with it, but it worked, innit? Really. You know, Partey looked good as well in the second half. You know, and again, ultimately, good collective reaction from the boys. That's all you can hope for. But you're not going to get to do that every game. So I would say let's chase trying to be perfect for the next 90 minutes in the next game we play, because our last 2 games, we've got the wins. That's what that matters, but it has not quite been that. So that's what we need to do to go to the next level. Quickly on that topic, though, we might as well look at what MIKEL ARTETA, before we get into the transfer news, of what MIKEL ARTETA has said in his press conference. Post-match reaction, better yet. That is what it is. I think that was a cross from Laka. That's an own goal. Took 2 deflections, took it to the goal. Boy, we need Neves in our colours. Bring him. Pepe to replace Saka for the next game. He needs to know he must work just like everyone else for a place in the squad. What did Saka do? You know, Saka was in their box the most times. The second goal was come because Saka's taking the shot. You know, prior to us scoring, Saka looked like the most likely to make stuff happen. I hear you, but I'm not advocating dropping Saka for no reason. You know, Saka had a chance. He probably should have scored. But, I mean, if we watch that game, again, Saka's had a very good game. Like, Saka for Pepe, I think Saka needs to stay on that right-hand side. You know, there's been times earlier in the season, by all means, Saka could have benefited from being dropped. But you watch the game again. Like, no, man. I don't care how many deflections Jamal, but I just care about winning, man. Pepe off the bench can do stuff, man, but, you know, I don't think that's that. I think, if anything, Smith Rowe's the one that, for me, is complicating stuff. Smith Rowe / Martinelli. Pepe's starting means as he goes on. I'm not saying he couldn't start, but you can't have it all ways, man. You know, I think especially while we're winning and at this point in the season, we need to find balance. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm not saying don't try things, but Saka stays on that right-hand side for me, man. You know, Saka, the ball into the right-hand channel, that's where our change was coming from, really, if I'm honest. Nah, man, you can respect opinion, but he's not wrong. He's allowed his opinion if he believes that with Saka, but, you know, we're having a discussion. I can't say I back that one, my G. I can't lie to you. There's definitely been games Saka should be dropped, not that one, though. You know, he affected the game from both sides. You know, he moved over for Pepe to do his thing, and he's in his. I can't remember if it's the first or second, but I think it might be the second. Saka's had the shot. Pepe's chased the lost cause, and the link-up play with Laka, Odegaard, and him, courtesy of Sarr, we've bagged in it. So, yeah, man, I don't want to play players just because they haven't played or because we need to send statements out. Well, you think the players don't know this? Feel a lot more comfortable with Saka, and definitely if Tomiyasu's fit, Tomiyasu sort out that calf. God, if Tomiyasu's having any problems, can you take my calves? I don't need them, please. You know, just give them to me. Just give him to Tomiyasu. I need him back. By the way, had to show my girl your celebration for the Laka goal. Knew you'd be pumped. I appreciate that. Shout out to your girl as well. It sounds so bad to say that. Shout out to your girl for supporting the thing. Sounds mad to say that, but yeah, man. I love Laka, but yeah, man. But this is the thing with all fans, man. Man love agendas. I'm not saying him, but fans love agendas, man. Fans love agendas. Fans don't like to be honest. You know, we're acting like certain people are going to be mad negative with yesterday or mad positive. People don't like to just say what happened. And this is the thing now. We're in a territory where you can't say what happened without being honest. And I just think fans are in this weird, off topic. We're in this weird scenario where expectations are almost too high, bordering on unrealistic at this football club with some fans, and some fans' expectations are on the floor. Where we could finish 8th, man will say, well, finishing 8th, there's progress there. It was better than finishing 6th because we're not necessarily ready for Europe and things. There's a lack of balance in this thing because people don't watch the game; they watch for agendas. You know, there's a small section of this fan base that is unhappy if certain players don't score. They want certain players to have good or bad games. It's crazy, man. Maybe I wasn't watching the same game. I don't think Saka was that good. I can't like, bro, you're not wrong. You're allowed your opinion. You know, we all watching the game differently. I thought Saka was going right back when Cedric was coming off. Pepe could start on the left. He's definitely thrown his hat into the ring. Him, Smith Rowe, Martinelli. You know, I feel Martinelli, obviously, he's probably lost a bit of rhythm through being out of the team and coming back in. I feel Smith Rowe, if you're fit, that's you, because you would have played against Wolves for me if you was fit. Pepe's, you know, probably still third choice behind them, but based on last night, he's flavour of the month. So you can't say no, really. And obviously, when a man's got a point to prove, you know, it might not be, it might help you, because obviously the what matters is the collective and what we're doing. But Pepe might say, you know what, man's gone AFCON, playing all right now. I remember how good I am, got my mojo back. Arteta's gassing me. I don't want to sit on the bench. I've played well. So if you start, man, he might say, you know, I want to hold on to my shirt, you know, like what we've seen to a degree with Cedric. I'd say more so towards the start of the season with Tavares. You know, this is the point of the season when man come in, you need your squad. And it's only now fans want to admit that it's a squad game. You know, we just spent a good portion waffling about a certain Norwegian playmaker. Sections of this fan base were like, what do we need him for? He weren't that good in January. What do we need him for? We've got Smith Rowe. It's only now fans see it's a squad game, and it's only going to get worse in the sense of you can't, you know, you need a squad. If we're where we should be, realistically, we should still be in the FA Cup. So that's however many games there is. Next season, I want to go as far, by God's grace, in the Champions League, minimum the Europa League. Obviously, all the cups and all the games, and obviously injuries, loss of form, these things are all factors. So you need people to step up and stand up. And obviously, if Pepe stands up to be counted, then we've got another better player. There's more pressure for spots. And again, I feel in general, there's no competition for Saka on that right-hand side. We spoke about that yesterday. So why not? I think Saka should go on the left and Pepe on the right for the next game. I hear you. Big up the Thailand. Is it Thailandese? What's big up you, but I don't know what you would call Thailand. Like you, if you're Chinese, you're Chinese. If you're from China, you're Chinese. If you're Jamaica, you're Jamaican. What would you call Thai? Big up the Thai ones, man. I thought Saka was average. He might be average, but he still affected the game, man. 3 points is bigger than any player. Odegaard always looks level. Shout Rochelle. Woke up in such a good mood this morning. Crazy how much Arsenal impacts us. Crazy, you know, crazy. Like I said, I woke up watching the game on Amazon Prime again. I was like, I can get used to this. Like, just beautiful, you know, beautiful. To be fair, Xhaka's a highly intelligent player, man. He's just not probably what we need. I'd rest Saka for Liverpool and start Pepe. I hear it. I just want to get the wins. But we say rest. We don't play till Sunday, bro. You know, the boys probably have, you know, recovery session today, probably training on Saturday, training on Sunday, and then obviously in the week. Rest for what? Surely there's enough rest there. Saka wasn't his normal self, but wasn't by any means just an average performance, in my opinion. I'll go with that. Seen a man say he's upset that we're winning games because he's Arteta out, bro. This is what you're robbing. You're meant to be an Arsenal fan, like, but it is what it is, you know. Let them do what they want, man. That's not what we're here for, man. What can you do about Partey shooting? Pray. You know, one day it will go in, man. It will go in. It will go in one day, man. We're getting there. We're getting there. Ty, apologies, man. Shout out you lot. Should have listened, bro. Fuck Paul Ince, man. Paul Ince, ain't you got a job? I swear you're a coach now. Shut up, man. You should be looking at Arteta for tactics. Shut up, man. You think I'm listening to Paul Ince when he's always got the white shit in the corner of his mouth? Shut up, man. Shut up, man. Like, fam, listen to bloody Paul Ince, bro. Like, come on, man. These man don't watch Arsenal at all. You know, they don't. Half these pundits that actually were former players of clubs, they don't watch the clubs. They're not getting paid to watch. They don't love it like us. We're paying to watch these games. They don't love it like that. They're not getting paid. They're not. I guarantee Paul Ince is not watching Arsenal any more or less than the casual fan. He watches little match of the day or whatever. Come on, fam. He's definitely not knowing. Their man there, it's just they know they'll get the engagement because these man will chat shit. Allow it, man. It's dead, man. It's dead. I'm not trying to hear that, but like I said, dons with white corners in their man, dry ass, tick by light, fam. Allow it, bro. Paul flipping Ince. Your son was shit as well. Like, Thomas Ince didn't even deserve that. There was no need to call him. He's done better than me. He's a pro baller. Allow it, fam. Allow it. Allow it, fam. Do your Reading job. And make sure you don't flop at Reading, Paul Ince. I'm on you now. Make sure the Reading thing, you don't flop there. Shit done, bro. You ain't been managing since 2014 and you've just taken the job and you're there waffling about Arteta and Arsenal. Priorities are all wrong. All wrong. All wrong. Allow it, man. It's like Paul Scholes, bro. That man there's just mad chatting shit all the time about United. Bro, it's them dons there, man. Dead. Oh, Paul flipping Ince, man. Exactly. I'm not the biggest Arteta fan, but as long as we're getting the points, I don't care if Joe Biden is our manager at this point. Bloody hell. Gabby needs to try getting into defenders for games. He's falling a bit short in the flair department like Suarez used to. I think yesterday, one thing for me, I think too many players were trying to, we've gone from a time where people hide. I think in the first half, people were too anxious, in my opinion, to make themselves the heroes. And what I mean by that, I saw Lacazette, I saw Martinelli, might have been Saka, I could be wrong, but there was times where the ball's been overrun. They're keeping their heads down. Now, on another day, they probably get their head up and pick out a pass, but they're keeping their heads down, doing the greedy thing. And there was one Martinelli, it's gone into the side netting, Lacazette the same. I feel we needed to be a bit more patient, man. So fans are always going to have agendas. It's always this player against that player. I like this manager. I don't like that. I want this guy to play that. Fans can't, I do think fans can't admit they're wrong, but I also feel there's a taboo in saying you're wrong. Like I might say this is an imaginary world, but I might say Saka's sick. And then in a couple of weeks, Saka might show me just in this imaginary world, he's not good enough. If I now change and say, I think he's not good enough now, or I rated this manager, now I don't, or I didn't rate him, now I do, you're killed for that. And I feel that's the problem with football, because people can't just say they're wrong. People can't be humble enough and know I don't know everything. You can have your opinion and be proven wrong. Everyone just wants to know, I'm right. I know everything. My ego's the biggest in the world. When people like Pep Guardiola says he's got so much to learn, who the hell? Come on. One day Partey will score a banger. I don't know when though, man. I don't know when. I think Pepe is our most naturally gifted player along with Odegaard, but what holds him back is he's more often than not only plays in moments. The team is proving doubters wrong, and any doubters are reliable to die young. Encourage them, criticize constructively, stay blessed. You're right there, but I don't want no one to dead. Crazy. G1, get on to them. Man said 145 likes, 355 people in here. Let's get towards 200. Bro, they talk shit about ex-Liverpool, man. Watch when Liverpool start flopping, they'll chat shit about them again. United, both Gary Neville's waffling all the time. And when you waffle so much, you're going to be right now and again. Wonder how much Deluded pays to stream directly from the dressing room. What a guy, goes completely out of his way to give us the good content. Mr. 999, I don't really like the numbers in your name, but pay a handsome sum, man. I pay a handsome sum. What can I say? Kroenke won the Super Bowl. He said, you know what, DG, you might as well come true, man. Pepe needs to take on defenders. He seems to be playing under instructions from ARTETA. I mean, the whole players have to play under instructions. Obviously, there needs to be freedom with a framework and whatnot. But yeah, this is it. Most pundits just chat crud to get traction, and that's it. That's all that the media people then want. Like, look at Jamie Hara capping all the time. Like, I see him retweeted on my timeline all the time. And for me, I make sure, as much as it annoys me, I make sure I try not to interact with it, because we're boosting the engagement, even though we're moving mad. We're boosting the engagement for these guys. That's all they want. That is all they want. And at this time and age, if you talk about Manchester United or Arsenal Football Club, you're getting your clicks. If you want to talk about anything with Chelsea, you waffle about Lukaku, you're grabbing your clicks without a doubt. And it's quite jarring. It's quite annoying. It's boring. Like, more than anything, it's boring. Control Z. This is a shortcut. This ain't no 30 shortcut. I deleted everything. Put it back. Thank you. In fact, let's change that. Oh, sorry, people. I'm trying to make a timestamp, and this isn't letting me. Yeah, pressing the wrong thing. Carragher's a decent pundit. I actually think Gary Neville at times says stuff that's right, but too often than not, these lot just chat shit, man. I think Emma Hayes is one of the best pundits, but for obvious reasons, you're not going to see her too much. A bit harsh on Xhaka, but these are hot and cold duns, man. It's hard to ignore, but once you do, you'll be in a better space. Exactly. DG pundits just like to hate on Arsenal, especially as they know we have a huge social media presence, consistently trying to rattle our fan base. Exactly, and we take the bait. Redknapp and Keane said we don't have a chance for top 4. Do you know what? They're not wrong, but they're allowed to say that. A lot of let's be fair to them, the very things they're not doing. A lot of fans didn't put them into that. It's the problem is they don't adapt their opinions. Really. Michael Richards talks sense. Uncle Righty, when he wants to be, he's on the real man thing. I don't care. Paul Ince can say we're lucky. Who gives a shit what Paul Ince has to say? But I'll take luck every day. You need luck sometimes. Man City were lucky against us by that stretch of the imagination. But when you look at it again, and obviously this is a man who used to play for Wolves, so of course he's going to talk nonsense. As I said, focus on your managerial job at Reading, but you must know it's not going to last long. That's why you're angling for a pundit career. Brazy, man. Brazy one. Xhaka's been decent recently doing his jobs, but that is Xhaka, though. You know, Xhaka post-scandal does his job. The problem with Xhaka is you know what you're going to get from him. Over a 38-game period, there's games he's going to do his thing, but there's clangers. It's just... Yeah, man. Bro, big up the fish and chip shop and Ramsdale for getting... That's what we need to see, to support local businesses and that. Why not, man? Why not? Let's get into some of this transfer news. In fact, before that, let's see what MIKEL ARTETA has actually had to say about the game, people. Let's actually make sure we've updated these timestamps as well. 55. That's weird, man. That's weird. What a weird timestamp. But anywho, see what the big man MIKEL has had to say. What a gaffer, man. My gaffer. Until you start showing me no reason not to. Palace away. Scaring me, but let's see, man. Post-match report. Let's see what he said. On the win. It was a great one. Winning at the end against a really good team who, once they are ahead, are extremely difficult to beat them. I think they haven't lost a game after going ahead since 2018. Well, they have now, brother. Just like they couldn't concede from a corner until they bucked us at the Molyneux. Wolves stop talking on our name. Go on patting Leicester in that. I'm not liking... This is why I want Arsenal to get back to where we need to be. Villa try beef us. Wolves try beef us. I got love for you lot's teams, but allow it, man. Play your positions. Play your positions. There's levels in this. Stop sending for my club. We're not levels. Man are thinking they're levels because they can get Smith Rowe in that. Come on now. Get the hell out of here. You know, there's definitely another club that's tried beef us as well. There's Wolves, there's Villa, there's definitely someone else. Allow it, man. Everyone that tries to beef us form starts moving a bit iffy. But anywho's, but we kept pushing. I think the attitude, the spirit, the quality, the energy that the players put in the second half to fight, to go and win the match was phenomenal. It created a great atmosphere and synergy with our fans, and it was great to win in that way. Arteta, synergy and that, you know. Brentford and that, now we're forcing that. Brentford didn't do nothing to us, man. You know what? Leicester ain't even done nothing to us, but still, nonetheless, I think we will get the next 4 to 6 games. I think we can get the next 4 to 6 games if I'm being realistic. Let's try it. Brentford try force a beef. You see, this is why Arsenal need to get back to a game, man. You know, this is what happens when you used to be the king and the head honcho. People start trying things. Allow it, man. Allow it, man. You need to deal with your own strikers calling you lot shit before you start chatting about us. Anyways, man. Hope you go down, Brentford. I can't lie, if you want to sign me to be a scout or anything like that, forget what I said, innit? Business is business. Anyways, on Lacazette's winner, we're shameless. We know damn well that ain't Lacazette's goal, but cool. That's what we need as a team. Now we are building a team with a lot of young talent, as Martinelli said in his interview. A lot of new players. They live those experiences. I said to them at halftime, if you want to be at the top by May, we're going to have to overturn results maybe 2, 3, or 4 times, and today is an opportunity. Facts. Amen. I'm especially happy when a player individually makes an error that costs a goal. Then the team can put that aside and win the match and never even talk about it. That, bro, mistakes happen. I don't want to see, even if we lost, I don't want man to get at Gabriel for the mistake. Because I always say it, one thing that annoys me, we can talk about that. We can talk about what led to it. But that's a little flashpoint, a little 2-minute flashpoint across a 90-minute game. Why ain't we scored then? You know, it's the same thing typically when we're talking about Eddie or Lacazette missed chances where, yeah, they've missed some chances, but why are we only creating 2 or 3 generally in games? Anywho, on the player celebrations, careful. Sorry, everyone, let's play the world's smallest violin for Ruben Neves and all these guys that told us about celebrating. Let's play the world's smallest violin for these Wolves fans that thought they were going to twang us. They thought that their trip all the way up the motorway on a Thursday evening wasn't in vain. You knew we was winning that. Let's play it. I suppose I used to have one of them Beyblades that they made that noise. I clapped that from someone. On the player situations, I encourage them to celebrate every victory. Energy. because you can tell how difficult it is to win in this game, to win football matches. Our supporters are the same. Every time we win, we should celebrate, because when you lose or draw, you know the face is always sad. Bro, whoever don't like our celebration, suck him on, man. It's an Arsenal thing. If you don't like it, fight us. Simple as that. Yes, it was the other calf, Tomiyasu. So he came back and he was completely fine. And in training, he felt the other calves. God, please, Tomiyasu. It look a bit weird having a black calf on a white leg, but you could take my team. You could take mine. I don't need mine. I'm here talking about football. Tomiyasu, I need you back in the team. You can take mine. So yeah, man. So this is an issue because he's a professional who's getting absolutely everything to help us. And in the last few months, he's not been fit. Maybe that highlights why it's a squad game, really. I love the celebrations, but we need to celebrate. Well, even Jimenez was celebrating. Shout out the Mexican Arsenal fans, but he didn't even care that Wolves lost. He went to do up pictures with his countrymen. Man was like, yo, we're there. Like Mexico to London, the link up is crazy. I don't even know. What's the area code for Mexico? What's the numbers? I know it ain't 876. Mexico area code or the phone number, whatever. It's plus 52. So big up all the plus 52 ones, or 011. Or 722, I don't even know. Shout out that, innit? Really? That's what he was saluting and that, man. He didn't care about that. On our top 4 hopes, I'm loving that Arteta. He can't deny it now that we're trying to do this thing. It's pulled us a little bit closer. 1 less game and 3 points. 13 games to go. And now it's about Watford. I think it's about belief. And we should keep playing the way we are playing and keep insisting and have that resilience and capacity to dominate matches like we are doing right now. And that's the energy and synergy. But Arteta, you're moving like me. When you find a new word, you just have to keep using it. I love this synergy thing with our fans to create a special atmosphere where people don't want to come and play against Arsenal. Trust, that's something United and Arsenal need to get back to. Highbury was never the most intimidating atmospheres, but you knew you might lose. Old Trafford the same. 2 teams ain't got that. On whether these kind of nights can be defining, of course, this is what makes or breaks it. When you're not playing well, get over the line. But against the opponents that are up there in the table, it's really, really important to win those matches, because at the end of the day, it's a 6-point match. We've done it against them twice in the last 13 or 14 days, and it's really important. This race is going to be a long one. As Arteta has previously said, a roller coaster. This is going to be a long one, and we should know that we have to be conscious of that. Now we have to prepare again, forget what we've done, and start training and focus on Watford. Exactly. Arteta, you need to, everything I say, you start saying. I think we're the same duns, man, because I definitely should be here, because I said this as well. It's great that we won, but come minute 90 in the final whistle, come this morning, bet, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter now. Watford now. We haven't played Wolves. The Wolves game's irrelevant. We need to prove ourselves again. And if we hold ourselves to high standards, let's start the game a bit better. Let's not concede silly goals. Let's chase a clean sheet again, because the last 2 games, we should have had 2 clean sheets. We messed up against Wolves. It is what it is. Brentford, we gave them that goal in it, really and truly. So it is what it is. So let's try and chase them high standards again, focusing, being a bit more controlling the ball and things like that. It is what it is. On the importance of this getting top 4, we don't know, because we're not there yet. When we are there, I will tell you how important it is. Trust, in May, 38 games played. If Arsenal in full for above, then we know. Today, what is important is that we focus on playing better, maintaining that capacity as a team to dominate and take the game where we want. And that's what I want from everyone involved, especially the subs, because today I think they were magnificent. There are some good examples for them to use tomorrow, and we'll keep going. On Pepe's impact, I told you last week, I see a different Nico. I don't know. It's his energy, his happiness, his all-round play, how he's training. I was convinced that he could come in and do something for the team. On Lacazette's performance, when I see our striker in the 85th minute chasing a fullback, bro, I'm seeing Lacazette play right back sometimes. Big him up. In the corner flag, winning the ball back, playing, going, fighting, missing 1 chance, missing 2, and going again. What can I do? I can only praise him and try to help him as much as possible and give him support. At the end, he got the reward. For me, it's a lack of goal. For all of us, it's a lack of goal, man. Alex Lacazette. I mean, for all the missed chances, you got to love Lacazette, man. Celebration merchant, passion merchant. You're everything I love. Give him the new deal, man. I'm getting emotional. Us Arsenal fans, the bar's on the floor, man. Deluded MIKEL, why not? Great minds think alike. Big up the mods, always reminding me to like the stream when I forget to. I hope he's reminding some others. Love your streams, you're an amazing person, DG. You lot are more amazing, man. I'm just an average person that just loves football and has the privilege to have 2 platforms, this and Twitch. Make sure you're following on Twitch, where I can waffle about football with you guys every day, and that's down to you lot. So I appreciate you lot support. Without you lot, this channel and myself, we're nothing. So Thank you very much, man. I can't take that high praise, but it means I'm doing something well. I've lost where I am though. Shout out Laka, shout out Pepe, shout out resilience. You know, I think for the environment and the chemistry and the trust that they have between them, they believe in themselves, they believe in the teammates, the staff, the coaching, and the club. When that happens, they know and they try to find a way always to look forward in a positive way to hit the outcome that they want, and this is what it's always about. I mean, Arsenal, every time I read our stuff, somebody's on some dyslexic thing. You got to be shameless, man. Lacazette's man, them, it's an icy free thing, man. On whether the current situation in Ukraine made it hard to focus on football, of course, because at the end of the day, what is football when people's lives are at stake? Apologies, people, builders are doing what they're doing. On whether it's time for Pepe to step up and become a regular. He's on the right path. I've been here for the last 2 seasons, man. I just hope Pepe does a 3-peat of being our player of the second half of the season. He's on the right path. And when you're able to do that and contribute to the team, you're going to get more minutes. The more minutes you have, you need to make the most out of them in training every single day and show what you can. He has the ability to do it, that's for sure. So that tells me he's dropped the gauntlet down to Pepe. That's a man that said it, you know. Sometimes he's been asked questions about Pepe and Martinelli and he's been vague. He's told Pepe exactly what you need to do, and Martinelli's now got his chance. You know, Arteta's proved a lot of people wrong. They told him he don't fuck with Martinelli. Look what's going on. He said he's anti-football because he rubbed out Mesut Ozil. Look at this done. It is what it is. Who's talking? Who's this? Hey, Flying Scotsman. I can't lie, man. There's so many players I love. I love Teeny, man. Teeny can bark that breathes like him. And you mad? Big up Teeny. It's a massive win, massive 3 points. Coming behind isn't easy in this league, especially against a team like Wolves. So we showed character tonight. We showed mentality, and I think we got what we deserved in the end. And do you know what makes this more convincing? He's saying all of this in a Scottish accent. I don't know. Someone Scottish could tell me the sky is purple. I don't know why, man. Then I get it with up northern folk in England as well. I just believe what you lot say. It just feels, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a Londoner. It just seems like other regions, people are more honest. And I just know when man's got a Scottish accent. I used to have a manager that was Scottish, and I know the man there don't mix their words. They say what needs to be said. We never gave up for a second. As I say, a few of us believed we were going to get that goal. Most of us believed. I think when you've got that belief, anything can happen. There was talk from the Wolves players after the away game that Arsenal celebrations were excessive. And he said, yes, we should have been for sure. Obviously, everyone knows the comments that were made. So we knew that we were going to come up and try to beat us and get their revenge. But we stood up to that challenge. They had a good start and got the goal they needed and wanted. But after that, we controlled most of the game. Trust and, bro, man can celebrate. How many times did I see Sir Alex Ferguson teams win the league? And yeah, they would win in good games, but there would be games, smaller teams might be giving them a game and there's drama and man celebrate, man. Football's become superficial, man. It's become so silly. You can't celebrate for shit. You know, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but that's that. We're going to get into the transfer news in just a second, folks, but that's Mikel Arteta's post-match reaction, people. We got the gaffer. What can you say? Shout out the gaffer, man. Cody Hughes, that. I don't know why Arteta doesn't get his flowers. Look how far we've come. I've always had faith, still want more from him. And that's it, man. Big up yourself, my guy, T. Good time to drop a new training kit. You're right, boy. Where's my wallet? I'm ready. Do you know what? I'm not going to lie. The Piccadilly line training thing is growing on me a bit by a bit. I see Amari Hutchinson where I'm like, they're trying to take my P's again. My brother's a Spurs fan. Right, man, your brothers, you need to help your brother. How you letting your family go through pain like that? That's a serious disease, you know. He always chats before our matches, but never in my 13 years of supporting this team has he been so terrified. He is nothing but an L for them. Watch along was fire DGP. It's only fire because you lot support the team, man. Shameless, man. In my head, Lacazette shouldn't get a new deal, but football's emotional, man. And but you lot always get. This is why do you think I get so mad when people tell me that I'm getting at Lacazette? I'm Lacazette's biggest fan, bro. Lacazzette's the passing merchant. I've told you, look, when we batted up West Ham at home one time, I went with my brethren who I don't talk to anymore. He's a pagan, and one of the reasons I got kicked out of my old team, pussy. But anyways, Lacazette scored, and it's a hot summer's day. Well, not summer, but it's hot in England, innit? Lacazette scored, and he's doing the passion merchant thing. I swear, well, not the funny thing, but we're locking eyes. It was a match made in heaven. Lacazzette's my guy, bro. I'm a passion merchant. Lacazette is my guy. The bar is on the floor. I've never cut so many excuses for a player that I do for Lacazette, but it's probably not, man. It's probably not. Listen, give Brooke Norton Coffee some time and we could see, man. You know, let's not get excited of what he's doing at Lincoln. He started off in the right direction. Let's just let our young tug develop, and we should be able to get there, man. And to be honest, I'm keen to see what we're doing for a right back, because one part of me thinks, are we gonna play right back? But I wouldn't advise that after the Nice game. Ben White can do the job there if need be. If Tomiyasu has these injuries like he's had, maybe Ben White could, instead of Cedric, in theory, Ben White could have got the games there. So as much as I see the Spence rumours and I want to back up right back, maybe we might not necessarily get one. Really, I when I start thinking like that, I think there's reasons to get one, but obviously I also think there's reasons to not get one. And shout out to Cedric. That's 3 games in. Right, we turned the game around when you came off, but respectfully, I think Cedric's been good in his last couple of games, and this is what we need, especially from experienced players. Can you be relied upon? And as a man, there should be an ego there. You shouldn't want to hold bench, no matter how good Tomiyasu is. So complicate things. We've seen a couple of times people have lost their spot and never got it. Never loved Arteta, but never hated him. I wouldn't say I love Arteta and I've never hated him. It's just been praise and critique where fairly, For me to love you, you've got to do the Wenger thing or do the Pep and Klopp thing. I like what you're doing. I think you're the guy right now. There's still question marks, but you're doing all right. He's done what, like you said, he's done what he needs to be done so far, and he's earned some belief. If we get top 4, then it's cool. I still think the jury's out, because for me, I'll truly believe in Arteta fully when I see him revamp this midfield. I'll be honest with you. That's when, because I still think Arteta, I think you need to make peace with the fact of certain men can be squad players, but it's not a that thing. As good as a top 4 finish would be, it may also reveal the true colours of some people this summer. But it will show. Cedric changed after he got into that mini fight, started to look serious afterwards. Cedric starting to look convincing. Boy, I thought we signed Isak already by the fan base watching a so-called car and the back of a guy's head in London. Fucking hell, man. Banter, man. It's always good. Competition is great, man, but Arsenal fans don't like competition. The minute Ben White, we Saliba, how you gonna don't sign Odegaard? You got Smith Rowe, how you gonna do this and that, bro? Fam, forget there's 38 Premier League games. There's however many much in Europe. The cup competition is how much, and as we've seen, bare injuries. Look, Chelsea have a bloated squad, especially with midfielders. They're in trouble because they picked up some knocks. Liverpool have picked up some knocks. We've had some knocks. Obviously, you'd love everyone to stay fit, but even the fact that for large parts we've competed in one competition a week, we've still struggled with stuff. This is why I tried to tell fans in the summer that whole bullshit about keeping a small squad because we're playing once a week. It sounds logical, it makes sense, but in reality, it's a myth. It fully is a myth. It don't. You've seen, and as an Arsenal fan as well, we've seen this script. And I always give the example: if it's winter time, I'd rather have too many jackets on and start taking things off than step out in a t-shirt. There's not much you could do. Your nipples are going to be freezing and that. It's mad, crazy. Trust me. No matter how meaty it is. And he needs to get back from the owners. Obviously, Super Bowl, similarities between the young gaffer over them. Not that I'm a big NFL fan, but over them sides of what Arteta's doing. Bro, on one hand, the market is going to affect us, whatever we're doing, whether we get Europa, Champions League or whatever. But on the other hand, we need to know what we're doing. Obviously, they're marquee players. They want to be playing Champions League. But the bread and butter sign is it shouldn't affect us. And for me, with Edu, you have to have different plans. Plan fairy tale is what I'll call this one. We get Champions League, these men that might have been moving iffy, they want to play for Arsenal. Plan probably what we planned for in August without seeing what happened. Top 6, what targets are you getting? And even though I don't want to be it because it looks like top 4, top 6 are attainable, you need to plan for the worst. Okay, if Arsenal somehow bottle this and we get top, if we don't, we finish 7th or 8th again, where there needs to be, people might need to get the clip, but what players are you bringing in? That's what Arteta needs to do and Edu needs to do, and I'm sure they're doing such. But you're right, they need to be backed properly, though. And as much as I say about backed, I'm being a bit harsh because there's no context. Bro, Arteta's slide being backed, He's been allowed to give Aubameyang a big deal and tear it up. Bring in Willian, bring in Cedric, who's now looking 30. Marie, who costed, compared to the cost of the games played, proved costly. 200 odd million's been spent. Would I say this is backing? Is there a bit of context that needs to be applied? Yes, but I can't sit here and say Arteta hasn't been backed, really. He's been given he's been backed the most. I think he's been given the most excuses, if I'm real, and he's probably earned it. But Emre was killed for less for a lot of stuff. I feel there's been a lot of things that Arteta has inherited in terms of problems, but there's a lot of things that he's, through him learning as a manager and his stubbornness at times, that he's been able to hide behind, but ultimately he's brought on himself. So as much as I wouldn't say that's backing for me is signing a midfielder minimum in January, but I don't know, man. You know, again, I can't say a man hasn't been back. Money's been spent, and for me, when you're doing what you're doing in the summer, it's good. Last summer is good. Hopefully that carries on. And you know, Edu and that, they said that all right, last summer we needed to sign quite a few players. In the future, we might sign one or two. Hopefully that's the case, because we've got a big summer. We all know midfielder, striker need to be brought in. You need to sort out the contracts of Ainsley Maitland-Niles until 2023. Hector Bellerin, Torreira, Leno, all of these sort of guys, you know, because on one hand, what we bring in has to affect what happens. And as much as, you know, it's Arteta, I think the whole club needs to revamp, because we're still doing the tearing up contract things. We're still not bringing in players we're still not really making money on players, you know. We're still letting money deals run down. You know, Lacazette's doing what he can, but in another world, maybe he sold before his contract becomes a talking point. Eddie and Nketiah, other teams would have got P's. As long as we spend right like last summer, I don't care, people, because I've seen us spend a lot and we haven't actually exactly got more bang for our buck. Really, the less costly signings have really been doing what we're doing, man. I have strong confidence in Josh. I don't have confidence in anyone if they don't share it to me. I've got confidence in Arteta more so than anything, because I can see what you're doing. I don't really trust Edu personally. Kroenke, as much as I'm saying back it and that is what it is. I've got more faith in Arteta. That doesn't mean I cut excuses for you. That doesn't mean I have my sympathy only goes so far. It's a bit like what we spoke about on Twitch with Conte. Conte can't really cry about the Spurs team because no one put a gun to your head to take that job. You know, as much as you might be right, no one put a gun to your head. And I'm not, as much as I'm saying what I'm saying about Arteta, let's be real, this is a unique position because this is a job where there's high expectations of the club and the Wolves are out, but there's times he could have been sacked. There was times where Arsenal fans were saying across this season that let's write off the season. You know, I think this is a very interesting job because if we win, there's a lot of propaganda for Arteta. When we lose, we hide behind the players. And I think between the club and Arteta, it's a relationship of mutual convenience. Let's remember, as much as Arteta might love the club and things, he didn't grow up an Arsenal fan. This is business. Think about you lot logically. There's an opportunity to manage a job where you're not qualified for, to learn on the task, to not really be pressured by the board. You're going to take it. The same with the board. If they get them 30 managers in, there was going to be problems. Arteta ain't necessarily in a position where he can go in nuts hanging, I need this, I need that, or he's going to keep it moving. So we're going to see. I mean, half of them need to keep it moving, man. Summer will be massive. How we start to look of the start of the new season will tell us a lot about the club's ambition, trust. But then again, are we going to read too much into August next season? Well, I say next season, you know what I mean? Well, it is next season. I thought I said next year. You know, August didn't start well. Now look, man. When you back Arteta and the project, you are backing the Kroenke's family's ideas. I'm just backing my club, bro. What can I do? It's not like there's another option. I'm just backing my club. I'm praising and critiquing a man fairly, really. You know, okay, they own the club. Unfortunately, they've given him the job. What more can I do, really and truly? You know. I didn't say I have no confidence. I would just say seeing is believing. I trust what I can see. I'm not gonna just Edu, Arteta, the board. They haven't shown me enough where I can say blindly things are gonna get sorted. I praise and critique. If you bring nonsense to my door, I'm gonna complain. If you bring good things, I'm gonna praise. You know, it's like opening your door. If the sun is shining, what am I gonna tell you? Look, that it's raining. If it's raining, what am I telling you the sun's shining for? I trust what I can see. And I could see certain building blocks. I could see the Odegaard thing. That's one reason I've always stood behind Odegaard. I can see certain building blocks. But again, as a club, we do this building blocks thing. We need to see it through to the end. This project has to be the last project that finishes halfway through. It's like a building site. We build stuff and then we just run off. Let's actually see it through to the end. Let Martinelli, Saka, all these good players, let them develop to the next level, but surround them with guys that can also take them. Because as we've seen, if you mess about, these players regress or they drop down in a level, or it's just a waste of time. And certain players, once upon a time in the future, may look to move on. So let's hope we can do something in it, really. Good talking points, man. You lot on fire. Who knew all it took was an Arsenal victory for all you lot to be out here? The Arsenal fans always amazing, man. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you want me to do, bro. Like, I back my football club. My football club is gonna be here. Was here before Edu, Arteta, Kroenke, and I don't know when Kroenke is gonna keep it moving. You know, Arteta is very young. He's in his 40s. I very much doubt he's gonna do the Wenger thing in 20 odd years. Edu, I don't know if you're gonna be here in 5 years from now. My club is gonna be here after, innit? You know, so I just support my club, really. You know, he's the owner. He's picked the gaffer, really, you know. I'm sure if we started to look through a lot of your clothes and a lot of items in your house, if we was to look at them and we say, who's the owner of that club? Amazon. What, Amazon are dodging taxes, or these lot are funding wars and these lot are doing this and that. If we're going to go down the ethical route, we can start saying you're supporting genocide and murder and unfair, you know, even down to fair trade. You know, you're defending unfair trade for immigrants and whatnot in other countries when it comes to exports and things. If we're going to go down the ethics route, we're in a very dangerous territory, you know. To be fair to you, Eddie going for nothing annoys me, but at the same time, you know, we should have got to a scenario where he was either renewed a new deal or sold the summer before, but they accepted offers from Palace. He said no. So we'll have to see, man. It's an interesting one and it's a techie one, man. As we get to the end of this live stream, though, let's get into some transfer news because we've been saying it, but you lot have we've had some interesting chats. Keep them coming, man. Do you think Neves will do good for us? He looks a slow, unathletic, but Pirlo like. Big shout of Pirlo like, but I've always said I would like Neves. He does nothing amazing. Obviously, he's known to score an amazing goal in that, but over 90 minutes, he keeps things ticking. I wouldn't mind Neves at all. Contracted until 2023. Bro, come if you want to celebrate, man. I hate how football is getting brought up in politics. Why is everyone trying to tarnish the beautiful game? Football mirrors life. That's like politics, so I can understand. But what I find in this country is very subjective. With certain incidences or whatnot, footballers are told to stick to politics. As I said on Twitch, the minute this thing has come out over Ukraine, man are saying Roman shouldn't be here, strip his assets. I'm not saying any of this is right or wrong or whatever, but it's very funny how MPs in this country and people in this country, Britain I'm referring to, pick and choose when footballers should stay in and out of politics. But yeah, getting into this transfer news stuff, we've been linked with Isak. We've been linked again, a double suit for Osimhen and Ruiz. Allegedly, you know, before the game yesterday, there was rumors that we've paused contract talks with Lacazette. So let's see exactly what's happening. Let's start with Lacazette first, just because I'm here with it in front of me, people. Arsenal pause Lacazette contract talks to focus on top four aim. Now, between Lacazette, his agents, and Arsenal, personally, if we're here in March, we kind of know what's happening, innit? We kind of know this is a relationship that is over now. Arsenal will not hold talks with Lacazette until the end of the season. I mean, he's got talks with Lyon as well, allegedly. It is what it is. Pardon me. This was ahead of the game. He said there's a chance Lacazette signs a new deal, but we have decisions to make on 3 or 4 players in regards to the summer. So that's technically Lacazette, Eddie and Nketiah. I would say the contracts of 2023 with Maitland-Niles and Leno, and I think anyone else that I haven't said is probably the writings on the wall. Starting those conversations right now, I don't think is the right way. We have spoken to all the players what to expect, the freedom that they have, because the contracts allow them to make any decisions, and with our position there. And I mean, he was more specific on, I want to keep Eddie and Nketiah at the club. So, you know, when asked. So I think that tells you where we're at. That's what we are going to do. At the end of the season, we'll sit down and decide what's best for all parties, people. So that kind of tells you everything. It's the beginning of the end, really, for Lacazette at Arsenal. And I kind of don't want it to end, but it probably needs to end. I'm sure there was some updated comments on Lacazette, really. I'm sure Arteta had some updated comments. I'm so sure. Where he's saying something about he wants to stay and all these things. Yeah, well, I'll just read it out. Yeah, but we don't know what's going to happen at the end of the season. What he needs to do is put his future aside. We don't have contracts that last 20 years. That's our job, which is crazy, which is good for him. But there was stuff about he looks like he wants to stay and all these sort of things. I don't think it's right to give Lacazette a new deal. If he's going to stay in the squad on reduced terms and be a plan B, fair play. But we don't normally do that sort of stuff. So it won't really make sense. Where is it? I can't find it, people. But he spoke about it a bit after the game, man. I'm not 100 convinced on Fabio and Ruiz. His touch is a bit heavy and he takes long on the ball at times. But if he plays that deep run kind of cool, you're doing him dirty, man. Love Laka, but it's time to move on and get fresh striker to go with a fresh team. Didn't deal with it as well as Arteta has done and paid the price. Very happy for him. Always classing the gentleman. Hope he does really well. I think I've missed something out. Thoughts on this? Emre proving time and again that the player culture at the club was the reason for poor results. I mean, the culture was poor. I mean, like at most clubs, people took the piss out of Emre. And I said it at the time. If Emre had his away again, he probably would have let his nuts hang a bit more. It looked like he was half trying to regulate and freeze out Ozil and things like that. And then on the other half, there was problems, really. I think Arteta's clearly a better people person. He clearly is better at playing the game. And, I think one thing that has helped Arteta is that he's got more stability from those above. Then, they're making him head manager and things. So this season arguably isn't impacted by results. That's not me to praise Arteta or critique Emre. That's me saying you could be a lot more comfortable. Obviously, if your job's on the line and all of these sort of things, then there's more pressure. And obviously was probably a bit more raw at that time, man. I've come to the conclusion that Eddie is a good player, but only effective as a second striker. I don't know about that, man. I don't know, man. I say, Eddie, let's go elsewhere. Well, you need to go elsewhere and prove everybody wrong and show some other stuff, really and truly. But it's not down to me. Now, it just seems to me that Isak wants the Barca move, even though they consider him a plan B, really. But nonetheless, hit the like button if you haven't. Arsenal approach Isak's agents over possible summer move as MIKEL Arteta desperately hunts for a new striker, but club will not meet his huge 76 million release clause. So again, we're going to need him to do his part and say he wants to move on. We're going to need Sociedad to want to negotiate. Sociedad are going to need to get it done quickly with us so they can move. And as you can see here, his preference is Barcelona. I can't blame him for that. I'm sure you like the way of life in London, but Barcelona, the thing's different, isn't it? Arsenal made their first move to bring Sweden striker Isak to the Emirates next season after contacting his representatives. However, any potential deal would require Isak's club Sporting Sociedad waiving the 22-year-old 76 million release clause. As you know, having lost to Bayern and with it looking like our other two strikers are moving, we need reinforcements, people. We tried to get Vlahovic. It didn't work. We know Isak is highly thought of at Arsenal. We know he's a decent player. We know Arteta likes him. And we also know that we're not trying to activate that release clause, people, really. Arsenal are far from the only club looking to secure Isak's services, and he is believed to have a preference of joining Barcelona. Barcelona, however, are focused on signing Haaland, which it looks like he's going Real Madrid. And as you know, we've got Lautaro Martinez and Dominic Calvert-Lewin allegedly on such list. Again, Arsenal contact strikers entourage trying to lower 80 million valuation. Arsenal have made contacts with the representatives of Real Sociedad's Alexander Isak, according to reports. As you can see here, people, if we want to sign the striker, they're saying to pay his 66.7 buyout. Apparently, we're not on that, and it is what it is. He has an offer on the table from Arsenal, but he wants to wait for Barca in case they fell for Haaland. So he's happy to be a plan B versus come here, which on one hand, maybe leave it alone, but this is the territory we're at, people. So it is what it is, man. That's that. Who was this? Apparently off topic, we should have had a penny yesterday. Arsenal are set for a refs meeting after PGMO accept Arteta's request, obviously following what has been a long season of dodgy decisions, Saka's legs being chopped off, Tomiyasu getting kicked in his face, how we never got a penalty for the handball against Brentford. Yeah, by the letter of the law, Martinelli should be sent off, but it's very political, and there's many other incidences, people. Very brazy. What's it doing here? Skip that, man. But apparently, referee and chiefs have agreed to a request from Arsenal for a meeting to discuss the number of the decisions in recent Premier League fixtures. And I'm not going to lie. If we want to be a top club, let's be honest, Wenger had it in his prime. Ferguson defo had it. I think Klopp has it. I think Pep has it. I think Jose had it. You've got to make a meal of refereeing. So they have decisions to make. So they get scared to go against you. Refs were scared to go against Wenger at a time, Fergie at a time. They're scared to give things against Liverpool. It comes with the territory. You need to create some sort of thing with that. And that's what we need to do. So I kind of like where we're going with this. Dark Arts. It's not nice, but it needs to be done. Again, they've agreed to meet with us. We know Arteta isn't happy. I don't know when that meeting will happen, but it is what it is. Now, yesterday, I do not accept. Apparently, we've been linked with Fabian Ruiz individually as well as Osimhen, so it made sense for a publication to link us with both. How much that's going to cost, I don't know. Ruiz is contracted until 2023. Osimhen is going to cost a pretty penny. Allegedly, though, Victor Osimhen and Ruiz towards a sale. The rumours of a transfer market are not extinguished. This is Google Translate. Arsenal works with the light off on 2 blue players. Newcastle tried in January. They wanted both Ruiz and Osimhen. Scrolling all the way down. De Laurentiis, who is the president and / owner of Napoli, in January did not want to revolutionise the team, which despite the slip with Allegri is still fighting for the league. But for June, the speech is totally different. And again, they might very well get Europe, people. So it'd be crazy. You've probably got more chance of getting Fabian Ruiz than Osimhen, in my opinion, as well as both. Fabian likes Barca. So we hear Fabian Ruiz likes Barca. Real Madrid want him. Isak likes Barcelona. Probably need Champions League football. But you have to be careful with the Premier League, especially Arsenal, who want to relaunch the project by taking important players. Both Ruiz and Osimhen have ended up in the Gunners' site. Napoli would ask for more than 100 million euros to sell them both. Rumours of the transfer market speak of an almost certain farewell of Fabian Ruiz at the end of the season, while Osimhen, they will try to make an attempt to keep him. But if the right offer arrives, he will also be sold. But surely that will set them back. I'm not going to complain about that, but it is what it is there. Lautaro Martinez, his agent, has allegedly poured cold water on him being linked with a move away. Lautaro doesn't think about himself. And I mean, at this point of the season, he's not going to say anything different. Lautaro doesn't think about himself. He only thinks about Inter. He wants to help and wants fans to be happy. Inter haven't scored many goals lately, better yet, neither has he. But it's just a process and will return to scoring, that's for sure. Lautaro wants Inter to win. He's not interested in personal success. We must remain calm because Lautaro is happy at Inter and is happy with the fans. Martinez had looked set for a move to Barca before COVID-19 in 2019. I mean, if Spurs agree the deal, we must be able to. Apparently, Arsenal desperately want to sign him. We're prepared to offer him 275k a week to get him away. We did want him last summer. He has also signed until 2026. He's got 11 goals in 23 this season. And he hasn't scored since November, I'm sure, people. So it is what it is. I mean, it would be nice for a striker to come in, but can't say you're the guy. Arsenal take fresh steps towards signing player Antonio Conte adores. Who is this? Well, this kind of just echoes the Lautaro Martinez stuff, which we said. Ruben Neves was vexed about losing. I was just reading that myself. This is it. He gassing up Laka. He's playing like he wants to stay. Let's go all the way down. This was what it is. I can only pray. Sorry, there was that already. I can only praise him, and I tried to help him as much as possible and give him support. At the end, he got the reward. For me, it's Laka's goal. We don't know what's going. We've already said these comments. We don't know what is going to happen at the end of the season. What he needs to do is put aside that future. It's part of our game. We don't have contracts that run for 20 years. That's part of our job, and we have to be conscious of that. There's nothing to tell him but to praise him because every single day he behaves like someone that wants to stay with us. And as you can see, Sarr's own goal was Arsenal's latest winning goal in the Premier League game since 2017 when Alexis Sanchez struck from the penalty spot in 97 minutes. Hey, don't know what that's about, but okay. All right, so it doesn't seem like there's anything else. And Lacazette himself gassed up the ting and held up the ting. I feel really happy. It's amazing to win this kind of game. He hasn't spoken about him staying, so it is what it is. I think that's the transfer speculation done, people. Really and truly, there's nothing more to say in that regards. That's 1, 3, 3, 3. Transfer news rumors. Is that where we're at with that, people? What else are you lot saying? Do you think Jose will go for Xhaka again? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure we'll see another, summer linked with him going elsewhere. I can see both Osimhen and Ruiz happening. I hope you're right, man. Refs have to get bullied 100%. Vlahovic is the truth, been saying it from time. But hey, this meeting with refs will only make things worse for us. Decisions, I feel we could write a book on these on seasons, debatable decisions. And it goes back to when Arsenal was seen as a soft team and our players are kicked from left, right, and centre. And the only time we get fouls is literally when legs are broken. I wouldn't say he doesn't rate Isak. He doesn't want to pay the release clause. It's crazy, man. Laka is not staying. He would have already arranged things with Leon. I don't know what he's doing. You know, it is what it is. Just keep applying yourself until you keep it moving. Anyways, with that being said, though, people, I'm going to go and get some lunch. Please make sure you've hit the like button and you subscribed. And again, after this, people, I'm live at 4:30 on Twitch. Again, across the weekend, there's hella watch-alongs on Twitch and YouTube. YouTube, we're doing the EFL final, people, which obviously, you know, Chelsea and Liverpool. I'm going to be a Liverpool fan for 90 minutes. I don't want them boys in blue to win it. So make sure you're there for that one. Even if you can't be, hit the like button. Obviously, Twitch, I'm going to be doing watch-alongs. I think all my watch-alongs on Saturday are there. The first game in the Premier League on Sundays on Twitch. Then we head over to YouTube, people. And at 4:30 today, it's nice to take a break from real football and just play Football Manager. So make sure you're following me on Twitch. One love to everyone who was at my 10 a.m. stream where we covered Arsenal from a tactical point of view. We spoke about Conte. We spoke about the Premier League and whatnot. And again, just for you lot, it's amazing to be here day in, day out. I hope you lot have had a great week. I hope you lot have had an enjoyable Friday. But I'm going to go and get something to eat, prepare my stuff, and I'll see you lot at 4:30, man. Thank you, Mr. 999, and everyone else for supporting the team. Cam as well. Shout out the members, moderators, subscribers, long-term supporters, man.
So it's always just that active red light, defenders. I think it's like